Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hopefully you can see me. I just got to go off the side here, quick sec, and put a chat in the live or in the box down below. There we go. Hey, so we're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to show up. I'm hoping my internet isn't going to cause me a problem. It's caused me a problem over the last couple of sessions that I did. It was going up and down, and hopefully it will be smooth throughout the whole broadcast here. And if not, I will send a replay out later on, and you can watch it. Usually the replays are a lot more clear. So I've got 12 people online. There'll probably be people coming up and down from there and stuff, jumping on. Don't be a stranger. In the box down below, just say hi. Tell me where you're from if you can. I'm going to take a quick drink of my coffee. And sorry, it's quite bright above me here. This is just the way that I've got my my office set up, and I didn't have time to put up my screen behind me, which some days I do, some days I don't, although it does make me look rather angelic, I guess. And this is a great camera angle for me, I guess. I don't know. Hey, anyways, we'll get started here in roughly 2 or 3 minutes. I am just coming off the flu. I said this is my office / workout room. You can see my treadmill behind me. I got my weights over there. So I may occasionally cough. I was out for the last 2 or 3 days, just completely almost wiped out with the flu and stuff, which I got the flu on Friday, which was awesome because I got home from my place in Scottsdale on Thursday. So thank goodness I wasn't sick while I was in Scottsdale, or else I would have been totally bummed out. Anyways, what I'm going to talk about today is it wraps into social selling, but I think it's more than that. It's just kind of, it's looking at different ways of approaching people and how you can leverage your network and referrals and a whole bunch of different things to help you succeed at getting more meetings, more qualified meetings. And of course, when you get more qualified meetings, chances are you could probably close more deals, which means you're going to get more money in your pocket. So this is a highly effective webcast. As I've told people before on my past webcasts, is I've downloaded courses from Udemy and other websites, and you pay sometimes upwards of $300 for some of these courses. And the stuff you're going to learn today probably is even better than what is taught in some of those courses that people charge money for. So hopefully you can learn a lot. Going to have another drink here. I periodically drink in between talking about things. What I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to my screen. Hopefully it'll do my screen share here. There we go. I'm going to bring up my presentation. And let's see. Hopefully it's sharing with you guys. Yeah, present to everyone. There we go. Okie doke. So this webcast is called Social Selling Success. And first off, I appreciate everyone showing up and investing time in themselves to learn more about how to better themselves. I appreciate, every minute of your life is valuable, and every minute that you can spend with me, I absolutely cherish and appreciate. So that's, thank you very much. A lot of gratitude there towards you guys. A couple of things I was going to talk about here just before we launch into this. This month I'm doing 4 webcasts every Wednesday for the complete month here. This next Wednesday, I did this about a month ago. So it's using LinkedIn to do a job search. And you can go to LinkedIn and find jobs, but there's other ways to find jobs on LinkedIn. So I go through like 8 or 9 different tactics that you can use to find a job on LinkedIn. So if you're looking for a job, or if you know someone who's looking for a job, you can get them or direct them to salestipaday.leadpages.co/LinkedIn-job-search-webcast. And that will get them there. Also, if you got an email from me, I already had that put into the email. So you can always feel free to forward that as well to individuals. Plus, in the follow-up email I'll send out later on today, I'll have that information in there as well. The next one is my LinkedIn question and answer session. So I used to try to hold these monthly. I didn't last month based on some scheduling conflicts that I had going on. But this month I'm going to do it on Wednesday, April 20th at 9. And what I tell people is to bring your questions and show up to this LinkedIn or this URL down here, which is salestipaday.leadpages.co/LinkedIn-Q-N-A-session. And I will do my best to answer any of your LinkedIn questions that you have. And we'll go from there. Now, on April 27th, this one's going to be awesome. It's something I'm working on right now. And if anything, I think you should definitely show up for this one. This is, and I'm going to go into detail at the very end of this. So this, you got to stay till the very end because I'm going to show you some stuff that'll blow your mind. I'm going to show you two things that you can do to gain up to 120 times more productivity and up to 137 times more revenue just by doing a couple of things. Now, you have to be fully committed, obviously, to get like 120 times more productivity and 137 times more revenue. But even if you could get a fraction of that, just by doing a couple of small things, say you could double, quadruple, tenfold what you're doing, huge uplift. So what it is I'm going to talk about a presentation I'm going to be doing called the digital referral. It's how to use LinkedIn, generate up to 120 times more opportunities, or put some more opportunities in your pipeline. Wednesday, April 27th at 9 a.m. This one I may only run once live, and the reason being is because I have companies now asking me to come give these presentations to them to make their sales team more effective. So I'm doing it once. I may never do this one again online. And if I do, it will probably be for a pay for, because as I say, I have corporations coming to me asking me to do this. They're paying me to do it. I've got a seminar later on this month where I go through this stuff, and I'm charging people $100 a head just to learn this. Sorry, I needed a drink of coffee there. So that said, it is, I would definitely sign up for this one. Or when you just show up for this one, you put it in your calendar. I'll send a note out later, gives you the calendar. It'll give you the calendar information on that one as well. So, and as I say, huge announcement at the very end of this. It's in addition to what I was just talking about. So stay tuned. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started into the Social Selling Success webcast. Now, before we get into this, is one thing I want you to understand is that the agenda today is I've got at least 10 plus tactics. It's way more than that, actually. I got over 100 slides. This takes about an hour and 15 minutes to get through. But I'll tell you what, when you walk away from this, I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee because I can't necessarily see what you're doing. But if you just do this, you should at least double the amount of meetings that you're getting, which should also increase more revenue coming into your pipeline as well. So, and at the end, I got a very special offer for you as well. So if you want to reach me, you can type questions or you can text your questions to me in North America, if you're in North America, at 403-630-1243. Or if you want, use the chat box below. I'm just going to go in there and say, hello, everyone. Oops. Forgot the E on the end there. Don't be afraid to use the chat box down below if you have any questions. I've got another computer open up beside me here, and I check that pretty frequently as well. So that will help if you have any questions. So the first thing I do is before I jump into this, I don't profess to be a LinkedIn guru. One of the things that I do profess is that I've been on LinkedIn for a super long time. I got into LinkedIn in 2006 when there was just about 4 million members. They have over 4 million members. So I was one of the first 1% of people on LinkedIn. Now, for the first several years, I didn't use it that much. I kind of jump on, connect with a few people. It's really been the last 2-3 years that I've actually really started to leverage it and use it to its fullest advantage. So I want to show you kind of what proof I have. So if you go to, and I'll have the URL for this in a couple more slides here. But this is a LinkedIn social selling index dashboard. And it tells you how you rank against the 4 pillars of social selling. Some of the stuff it also shows you is in the upper right-hand corner. It shows you kind of where you rank on a social selling index in your industry and where you rank against your network. So I'm in the top 1% of not only my industry, but also my network. I've got some pretty high scores down here in the 4 different pillars that LinkedIn uses to rank a social selling index for a person. The other thing, that I look at is people that are in my industry. My rank is 4 times greater. People in my network, it's almost twice as great. So there is, not to toot my own horn, but obviously some of the stuff I'm doing on LinkedIn is working. So the other thing too I take a look at is I'm ranked at top 1 of profile views among professionals like myself. I'm in the top 3% among my connections. When you look at some of my connections, I've got some of the world's greatest authors who are part of my network. Guys like Brian Tracy and Joe Polizzi, Dave Kirpin, who just released a book last week. It's like one of the top books on Amazon, a whole bunch of different guys. So you know what? Hey, if I'm number 83 out of that rank in the top 3%, I'm pretty darn happy with that sort of stuff. So obviously I didn't have that thing. You can go, I think it's, sorry, I'm just trying to pull up this page. This page, if you want to find out what your social selling index ranking is, I believe you go to linkedin.com/sales/SSI. And if anyone could check on that right now and just confirm that, that would be great. And by the way, if you go there, check your social selling index score. And then if you implement some of the stuff I'm talking about today, which is easy to do, your score will shoot up quite high. If it's down pretty low. I had a guy on here 2-3 months ago who doubled his score in literally like 3 days just by doing a few things that we teach in this course here. So anyways, buyer profiles. So I'm going to go into a little bit about buyers and sellers. So one of the things you got to understand is that a lot of stuff moves online now, obviously. People are trying to find information, trying to find vendors, trying to find a whole bunch of different things online. 49% of buyers research vendors through their LinkedIn profiles. All this information, by the way, comes straight from LinkedIn. So 49% of buyers are researching vendors through their profiles. 50% of the buyers avoid a sales professional with an incomplete profile. So if you don't have a picture, if you've got, if your profile's super weak, you're getting discounted right off the bat. You're not even going to get approached. So there's a huge tip right there. And oh, great. Thanks, TJS Technical for confirming that that works. That's awesome. 44% of social buyers use shared connections to find potential vendors. So you know what? You need to let people who you're connected with, you need to let them know what you do, because people are reaching out going, hey, do you know someone that does this? Do you know someone that does that? And that's just easy sales leads that can come in the door for you as well. I'm going to skip a couple of these here, but we're going to, if you're cold calling right now, the average appointment rate is 2.5%. It's actually lower than that. It is closer to less than 1%. It's like 0.6%, according to a study that was done by Baylor University with Keller Williams Real Estate. And what they do is they took like 6,000 homeowners, they called this list, and literally out of the 6,000, they only got 19 appointments. So, start doing the math on that. It's almost dismal as well. Now, here's the interesting thing though, is a warm referral from somebody will increase your odds of sales success by 2 to 4 times. Not only that, you'll get 2 to 4 times more meetings if you actually ask for a referral from people as well. So mental note, keep that in your mind right now, because there's a lot of stuff that plays into that with the stuff that I'm talking about here today. 84% of B2B decision makers begin their buying process with a referral. So look at this. Oh, let's see. 84% of the guys that are buying, that have the budget and everything like that, are, start their buying process with a referral. And also, you can increase your sales success by 2 to 4-fold. Think about that. Referrals is key. Think about my presentation that I'm talking about on the 27th. Literally, it's about leveraging LinkedIn and referrals, and how you can dramatically increase your success. Anyways, more buyers are using LinkedIn, or using the internet, and specifically LinkedIn, to find solutions, products, services, whatever it is. If you don't have a complete profile and you're not actively engaging, you're missing out on a huge opportunity and basically what's going on in the world right now of sales. Now, I'm going to talk about the social selling statistics. So the top definition, too long to read. I'm going to go to the bottom one. I like it better anyways. Social selling is when salespeople use social media to interact directly with their prospects. This comes from HubSpot, which is a great little company out of, well, they're not so little anymore, I guess. They're out of Boston, Massachusetts area. They've got some great marketing and marketing automation solutions that they have. And very, very, go to their website. They got lots of great information for marketing and business development and salespeople as well. So the social selling statistics. So think about this. Top social sellers have 45% more opportunities per quarter and are 51% more likely to make quota. So it only makes sense. So social selling, by the way, is leveraging your, to me, it's leveraging your LinkedIn network to get the meetings with the right people in different organizations. Now, think about it this way. If you can get 2 to 4 times more meetings with these people, and 84% of B2B decision makers start with a referral of some sort, there's no reason why you shouldn't have more opportunities and you shouldn't be making quota more often and stuff like that. Now, at this point in time, I'll also talk about the salesperson's dilemma. Anyone who's been in a sales organization, if you say you have a quota of $1 million and you get 1.2 million that year, we all know the game, right? What happens is your company jams your quota up to 1.4 million. Well, could you imagine if you have a $1 million quota and all of a sudden you bring in 5 million in a year? Thinking, oh, this guy's awesome, great. Let's crank this thing up to 7 million for him, right? So you're carrying a quota of 7 million while everyone carries a quota of 1 million. So salesman's dilemma, I always talk about that sort of stuff. So, which is unfortunate because hopefully your company won't punish you if you start leveraging social selling and doing better. Hopefully they'll reward you and make it easier for you to make more money. I would be more than happy to have people working for me that are bringing in bucket loads of money, and I don't want to stress them out. I want, long story, that off on a tangent, we won't go there. Anyways, sales reps are 70% more likely to get an appointment from a cold connection request if they cite a common LinkedIn group. So this comes, once again, all this stuff comes from LinkedIn. I dispute this now. I've reached out to people via LinkedIn groups. That said, though, is I got about a 37% response rate on that. So that, that's not too bad actually in my books when I look at stuff like that. So it's not quite the 70%. I found it's about 37%. Sellers who reach out to prospects with relevant insights, key to their business, are nearly 5 times more likely to get a response than sellers who reach out cold. You guys, I mean, if you can read this, it might be Hubble vision on your screen, but long story short, social sellers, people are engaging through LinkedIn and reaching out to right people, engaging with content, stuff like that. They're the ones that are crushing it on their numbers and making more money. So that's what we're here today to talk about. So salespeople, obviously salespeople that use LinkedIn and other social media platforms are more likely to exceed quota and make more money. So this, like I say, this is what we're here to talk about today. Oh, there we are. There's this LinkedIn social selling index. So one of the things I wanted to tell you, if you want to understand more about LinkedIn and how they look at a ranking on a social selling index, is just go to the LinkedIn here. It's going to give you your number off to the side, and it'll tell you on what they call each of these pillars, what your ranking is. So here's the interesting thing. If you click the link here, it will tell you a little bit of information about it. If you click on any one of these blue links down here, what happens is it'll bring up a little 7-slide presentation on SlideShare that you can go through. And it actually walks you through what you can do to help you achieve not only a better social selling index score, but also what you have to do to, engage with people and, get more sales into your pipeline and get more sales in the door. And it's it's awesome. This information here is really killer. It's good stuff. So I highly recommend go to linkedin.com/sales/SSI, click on each one of these, and it'll give you some information on each of the pillars of LinkedIn's social selling index. So one of the things I talk about is, social selling is a buzzword right now. It's not something to do in the future or take a look at. It is part of the here and now. And quite honestly, it's my guesstimate is kind of in the next 2 years, it's going to be more or less the norm that goes on. So if you're not actually engaging and using this, you're falling further and further behind. Got to take a quick drink here. And we're back at it. So I highly recommend start looking at leveraging LinkedIn as part of the as part of your sales process. So first thing I always talk to people about is, do you have a premium account? And if they say no, it's why not? I think every salesperson should have a premium account. And the reason being is, I'll tell you what, only 18% of LinkedIn users have a premium account. Now, one of the things that I've noticed when I go online is that when I go through and I look at salespeople, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if I have the stat in here. No, I don't. I did a quick run on about 100 or 200, I think it was, people on LinkedIn, and I use salespeople and I use sales managers. When it came to salespeople, literally, I think it was only about 14% of salespeople in the group that I selected had a premium account. Now, sales managers, on the other hand, they were at about 22%. So it goes to show, I guess, I think people that are higher up in organizations value what goes on with LinkedIn and having a premium account as well. Sorry about the coughing, guys. If you were on earlier, you heard I'm just coming off the flu, so my throat's a little sore right now. Anyways, when it comes to the LinkedIn premium account, I'm going to show you just a few things that you can take a look at and which will help you out. The first thing you want to look at is who's viewed your profile. So when you have a free account, literally, you only get to see 5 people have viewed your profile. With my premium account, I get to see the last 90 days. And so that's a value to me to find out if there's people that I could be selling to that are hold on for a sec, guys. Sorry, my throat's clamping up. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. This way I can see, are these people that I could be engaging with on LinkedIn to talk to about my product or service and stuff like that. In-mail messages, in fact, you have to buy them when you're on a freemium account. They cost $10 each. On the free account, you get 15 a month. At $10 each, that's 150 right there. I spend $50 a month. So I've literally, tripled or got a threefold ROI on this right now. I can get introductions. I can get 25. Normally free accounts get 5. How many people I could see in my profile search. So when you actually search on LinkedIn, it'll bring back certain results. With a free account, you only get to see 100. With a premium account, actually it's closer to, I think it's 1,000 is what you can see. It comes back. Now, the other thing too is that when you've done searches, LinkedIn will actually cut you off at some point in time looking at people if you have a free account. So they'll literally just cut you off. Whereas they'll never cut me off looking on my premium account at people up to here. So worthwhile there. Save searches. I'll talk to you about this in a few minutes. This is a way that LinkedIn actually will send you literally free sales leads if you want them. I can set up to 7 parameters on searches, save searches, whereas a free account only has 3. So those are just some of the benefits that I see about having a premium account. One of the other things too is if you're actually looking for a job, there's a lot more information that you can get from a premium account. It'll tell you how many people have applied. This is a bit old. They've actually changed their interface since I did this. In some cases, they'll kind of give you the salary range of what it is for a position like that. In the new version, it tells you, here's how many people have the same skill sets as you. Here's how many people have the same degree as you. So, there's a few things. So if you're actually looking for work, definitely worthwhile having a premium account. You can get it for free for 30 days. If you don't have a premium account, then every 12 months, you can get 1 month for free. So if you want, you go in here, you hit manage, and you can sign up for a premium account or a premium account for a month. And if you like it, you keep going. Or what you do is you hit the upgrade, which is just below your picture right there. Same thing. You can get it in that way. So now I'm going to talk about a profile and building out a profile. So one thing that drives me nuts is when I look at people's profiles and it reads like a resume. So I'll tell you what, if you're a salesperson, unless you're actually looking for a job, don't write your profile like it's a resume. You know what? It's like, put yourself in the shoes of a prospect. And it's like, you need to tell them, here's what I've done. Here's what I can do for you. Here's the accomplishments I've had. Here's where clients have benefited from employing or using me, type thing. So think of it that way. Don't think of it as a job thing. Some of the profile tips. So I'm going to talk about. I'll get into some of these. I'll kind of blow through them really quickly. But your tagline and headline. Make sure you provide a benefit. So when you're I'll show it to you in a sec here, where the tagline is. But make sure you provide a benefit to your target audiences. Put a picture in. Don't have the standard blank picture there. It increases your profile views by 11-fold. If it was so, and then on top of it, remember back to 49% of B2B buyers go online looking for someone who can solve their problems. And 50% of those people will absolutely discount you if you don't have a picture or you have an incomplete profile. So there you go. Well, there we are talking about that there. Make sure you add your website and your social profiles. SlideShare, we'll get to that in a second. That's an application that LinkedIn bought a few years ago. Sorry, my throat was starting to seize up there again. LinkedIn link, how to personalize it. Adding industries will increase your view. Adding your industry increases your view by 15-fold. And the reason being is because you're just putting more metadata in for people to find you. Education increases your views by 10-fold. Actually, adding more than 3 positions or adding more than one position on LinkedIn will increase your views by 12-fold as well. I don't have that stat in here. And then last couple here, put some keywords in your summary. And then that way you'll get found, and then put your skill set in there as well. So here, we're going to go into the kind of the 6-7 main things that you should look at. So first of all, profile picture. I noticed that I am a little orange there, so I could be potentially an Oompa Loompa. The second thing I'm talking about is the tagline down here. So remember, I was talking about tagline is provide something that creates value for your clients, right? So this, I tell them what I do. I'm a small and medium business marketing resource that'll help you generate up to 10 times more sales leads. Ask me how. There's my call to action right there. So here's what I am, here's what I do, and then here's the call to action on this stuff. So think seriously about that. This is where put your city in and put your industry in as well. This is all meta information that LinkedIn uses to find you online. They force you to fill this out, but make sure you fill out the right industry when you're in there as well. This is where you can put your email in, you can put your IM, you can put your phone number, address if you want. You put your different social media in here and also your websites. You can change your LinkedIn profile down here. A lot of times it comes up with an alphanumeric and got your name in it. You can shorten it up when you go into edit mode. There's a way to shorten that up and make sure that it's presentable like this. And last but not least, I always tell people, try to get to that magic number of 500. If you have less than 500 connections, like let's say you have 173 connections, you know what? Especially if you're in sales, that doesn't look so good. Like I had someone reach out to me recently, and they were supposedly a social media expert, and they had like 300 and some odd connections. And I'm like, so you must be a really social media expert if you only got 300 or so connections. I found it mind blowing to me that they had so few connections and stuff like that. Now, one of the things you can do in your profile and your summary is you can actually add you can add slides, presentations, and you can add videos. And I've done that in a couple instances. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you're going to see where I've got some slides in there, and I've got some presentations and some videos and stuff like that. And really, how you do that is when you're in your edit mode, you're going to see this little box here that says plus in it. And these are the sort of things that you can actually add into here. So you can add, documents, photos, links, videos, and presentations into your LinkedIn profile. And the reason why that's kind of cool is because if someone's looking at your profile, they can click on that and they could see, certain things. So, if you're working at a company and you've got a really cool service that you offer and you have some information on a presentation, why not add that in there and let someone just click through and take a look at that stuff as well? That's engaging for people. Once again, 50%, almost 50% of B2B buyers go online trying to find someone like you. May as well entice them with certain things that you've got as well. So here's a little tip that I can teach you guys. It's free. I learned this from, what is his name? Rowan. Shoot, I should put it in here because I usually like to give credit where I find this stuff from. Anyways, I think his tip was down here. It's linkhumans.com blog/tips-linkedin-profile. I think that's where I found that. And it's a site called Photo Feeler. And once again, I'm going to go back to your picture is very important in the image that you present going forward. And so with Photo Feeler, what you can do, once again, you can get up to 13 times more views with an image. And if your image is enticing, or you score high on kind of these three things, people will look at you or come in and look at your image or look at your profile a lot more. So Photo Feeler, you go out, you sign up, you actually have to go and rank 10 other people based on their competence, likability, and influential ratings. And then once you've done that, then 10 people will vote on your photo here. Now, if you're too lazy to go get 10, you can actually buy credits and just get people to do it for you. So, but it really doesn't take too long to do that. So what you can see is competent, I got a high score. Influential, I got a high score. Likable, I'm apparently not very likable, although I think I am. But anyways, I only got 41%. Now I can tell you why. It's because I'm not smiling and I'm looking like I'm squinting here. Plus I also look like an Oompa Loompa. But anyways, the scoop is that with LinkedIn, the two ones that matter, and I'm not saying this because of my score, is competent and influential. Likable is not, and this comes up, I think if you read in this blog post here, there's another one by Yesware where they talk about this too, is that likable is not necessarily the most, it has the heaviest weighting. It's these other two. But long story short, obviously I should probably change my picture is really what it comes down to. So then a couple other things on your profile. So LinkedIn, they do an awesome job of walking you through cleaning up your profile. They make tips, they make suggestions, they do a whole bunch of different things. One of the things I would take a look at though, in the upper right-hand corner, it walks you through from beginner to all-star. And you want to get to all-star as quick as humanly possible. And once again, like I say, is LinkedIn will typically up above your profile when they're doing this. They'll say, do you have volunteer experience? Do you want to add another thing here? Do you want to put this in? Do you want to put that in? Right? Look at those. Don't just dismiss them. Look at them and think about doing it, because the more rich your profile is, the easier you're going to get found by those potential buyers on LinkedIn as well. And one thing I could talk about is how to save your friendships. One thing that is absolutely crazy is that if you change certain things on your profile, if you have yes clicked here, and it's down the right-hand side, it says notify your network about my profile changes, click to yes. Anything you do, even if you put like a comma in or something like that, typically it's going to start notifying your network and people come back to you, hey, congratulations, you got a job. But if you keep updating it and they keep seeing it like 2-3 times a week, it's going to start driving them nuts, right? So my thing is, save your friendships, turn that to no, so that people will, you won't drive your friends nuts or your connections nuts. Now, the other thing I often say too is that there's a lot of people that just don't have the time to build out a LinkedIn profile, or they have a LinkedIn profile, or they want someone, they maybe want someone to spruce it up for them, or put some more pizzazz to it, I guess is the best way to look at it. Tip for people is go to upwork.com and you can hire a contractor to wordsmith your LinkedIn profile, your summary and everything else that's in there, and give it that extra oomph. I also have a girl in town here in Calgary that can do it. So if you want something like that, email me, chris@salestipaday.com, and I'll connect you up with Kelsey and she can help you with that stuff too. Oh, got another tip. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This is something I added in the last one. I forgot that this was in here. So this comes from Q3 2015. This is the last known information that came out for LinkedIn's mobile users. So if you take a look at this trend. It's going like this. It's going up. There are 55 million mobile visitors on LinkedIn, which actually, interestingly enough, accounts for 55% of all the unique visitors to LinkedIn. Now, this is a 31% increase from the same time a year ago. So before, by Q3 2016, if you use this kind of projection rate, it's going to be about 72 million users, or roughly, literally about 69 to 72% of their overall user base is going to access LinkedIn via mobile. Now, hopefully no one's on LinkedIn here, because they'll be pissed off at me when I tell them this. I absolutely detest their new mobile device, their mobile app. It sucks. It's tough to use. It's brutal. It doesn't have the same functionality as a desktop. They really, I think they did as best they could, but I understand why they did this and they put it out. When you're starting to look at numbers like this, you got to do something, because their previous version was even crappier. And so now what happens is, one of the things that drives me nuts is if people are accessing it online, if you want to be able to connect with someone or contact someone. So let's say you're walking downtown and you go, shit, I need to meet this guy, or I'd like to meet with this guy for a coffee, and you don't have a phone number or anything like that, and you're connected on LinkedIn. If you go into LinkedIn, you're not going to find his email address and you're not going to find his phone number. And the reason being is that LinkedIn's forcing you to use their messaging service, which I also think sucks as well. But anyways, that's just a rant off to the side. One of the things that you can do to make it easier for people to contact you is what I found, and this was totally by fluke, is that in your summary, your first line in your summary, I put call me at, there's my phone number, email me at my email address. And what happens is it gets pulled into my LinkedIn profile on my mobile thing. So this is the way that people can reach out to you. So make it easy for people to contact you on the mobile platform. Just food for thought on that one. So I told you there's a lot of stuff you're going to learn here today, hopefully, and no one's dropped off, which is thank you very much. I appreciate you guys putting the time in here. There is, I'm going to try to plow through a lot of this stuff really quickly, especially on the advanced search side of things. But if you don't use advanced search, this is going to be your new best friend. So you got to stop for a sec, got a tickly throat, got to take a drink of coffee. There we go. Advanced search is going to be your new best friend, because I'll tell you what, you're going to bring back results that are like laser focused using these kind of tactics. So you're going to be like a LinkedIn advanced search ninja after I teach you these next few slides here. So first thing you want to do, there's 5 things. There's only 5 things you got to remember. And then you toy around with them a bit using quotes. And this is for like an exact phrase. So example, if you see down here, I've got vice president. Now, if I search vice president on LinkedIn, sorry guys, and you've got a free account, it's only going to bring back 100 results. And then at some time in the month, they're going to cut you off looking at stuff. So what you want to do is you want to be able to get the best results humanly possible so that you don't waste any of the search results that come back. So in this case, if you were to take the brackets out and put vice president, and guess what? LinkedIn looks at it and goes, oh, they're looking for someone with vice and they're looking for someone with president. So they'll start bringing presidents back. They'll start bringing things with like vice chairman, stuff like they bring back a whole bunch of different results. And that's, they'll bring back vice presidents, but they do bring back a lot of false positives, I guess, or if you look at it. The other thing you should do is always put it to current. Don't look at past if you're looking for someone who's in a position like that now. So quotes is one thing that you need. The next one is going to be the brackets around everything, right? So in this case, it's when you're combining terms. And I'm going to talk about and, or, and not in a second here. In this case, you're combining terms. So I'm pulling vice president together and sales or marketing, right? So what happens is I want someone who's a vice president of sales, or I want someone who's a vice president of marketing in that search result. Then what we need to look at is the and, or, and not. So important, you have to remember this when you're using this, is that these have to be in uppercase in order for them to work on LinkedIn. So and is for searching for two terms that need to be included. For example, vice president, sales, and marketing. So I want to look for someone who's vice president of sales and marketing. Or is going to broaden your search, which is vice president or VP, sales and marketing, which will definitely broaden the case. And I'll give you an example of this. So in Calgary, I looked at vice president, sales and marketing. And when I look, this number changes daily. I don't know why, but sometimes it changes daily, just based on results. When I did this, I got 35 in Calgary. Now, when I put in or VP, sales and marketing, that went up to 2,199. So you know what? I would have potentially missed out on 2,164 potential people that I could contact. So once again, Laser Ninja, the skills are laser focused and bringing back way better results. So once again, if you have a free account, just by implementing this stuff, you're going to get way better results and you're going to have way better people that you can connect with. I'm going to talk about the not right now. So not is when you just want to exclude somebody. So if I'm looking, I want to see someone who's a vice president of sales, not marketing. That's all it's going to bring back as well. So using the advanced search, what you do is you click the advanced search button up here. Then you go into your relationships down here, and then you can pick locations. You can add all this other stuff. So this is all kind of this side over here is all the free stuff that LinkedIn offers with their freemium account. With their premium account, this is the stuff that you can get in there as well. So once again, by getting that premium account, one of the things that I love is company size. I don't want to waste my results coming back on people that are one-man operations or like 5 people in a company when, I'm looking for companies that are like 50 people and above. So that will bring back way better results for me as well. So anyways, bit of a tangent on that one, but here's the parameters we set up. So I've got president or owner. The other one is I've got this set up to look into a specific group on LinkedIn, and I hit search. And then what happens is it brings back 173 results in the young oil and gas professionals. Now, the great thing about this is if I'm not necessarily connected to these people, remember I was giving you that stat earlier, LinkedIn says it's 70%. I found it about 37%. Let's pretend I'm not connected to Paul here, for example, even though I am because he's a first level connection. I could reach out to Paul and say, hey, Paul, you and I are both part of the young oil and gas professionals group on LinkedIn. I found you there as through a search on owners. Here's what I do. Here's how you benefit. Was hoping I could line up a meeting with you and tell you a little bit more. And you know what? That's how I get better results or get more meetings and that sort of stuff as well. So there's a tip for you right there. Now, guys, I don't expect you to remember this. And I'm a bit of a, I guess what I've done is LinkedIn has created a cheat sheet that you can use. So if you search LinkedIn tip sheet, Boolean search tips, Boolean is Boolean search tips, you can get all the stuff I just talked about, and it'll give you examples and everything like that. So you can go find that information there. And I'll tell you what, if you get any great results, tell you what, let me know. I like to find out about this stuff and make sure that it's, make sure that it works for you. But I'll tell you what, if you just take this tip sheet and start doing that, you're going to be like in the top 1% of all the people on LinkedIn doing stuff. So here's kind of where social selling starts to take into effect, right? So you're leveraging your network and social media to gain more opportunities. And what I'm looking at is you can approach your first level connections. And the reason you do that is, it's low hanging fruit as far as I'm concerned. What are your first level connections? Those are the people that you're directly connected to on LinkedIn. So, for example, when you go in here, there's a little box that says first, and that is your first level connection. What I talk about too is you should always be trying to strengthen your first level connections, or at least with a select amount of people from your first level. And the reason being is because the first level will connect you into your second level. And I'll get into that in a second here. But I'll tell you, you can explode the amount of sales leads or sales opportunities that you get just by leveraging your network. So anyways, but we'll stick to the first level right now. What you do, once again, go into your advanced search, click first level connections, click the area that you're in. I'm looking for vice president, sales or sales and marketing here. And I hit search and it brings up, I have 25 people in my network that are in the first level for sales, VP sales and marketing. What I do is I have a letter. So these are people that I want to potentially, hit their target demographic for me. I send them something on LinkedIn, or I take it off LinkedIn and send it through email because I should have their email addresses too. And I go, hello, first level contact, hope all is well. I thought I'd reach out to your company right now. As there's something that I have that might be applicable. What you do is you put in you put in a benefit. You say, here's my product. Here's the benefits. I've attached some documents, if you have it, or you can see more at my company website. Do you have a quick time for a quick call about this? Or optionally, if you know they may not look after this, you can say, I know this probably doesn't fall in your world, but I was hoping you could point me in the right direction at whatever company. Please let me know if you have time for a call, or if you want, we can grab coffee next week, wherever it is. I'll be downtown, blah, blah, blah. Be nice to know what you do so that I might be able to help you out. Or you could change that to be, please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out. So that's how you get in the door with your first level connections. And interestingly enough, you'll get a lot of them that respond to you. You'll have a huge response rate. So that's the first way that you get in. Now, by adding your second level connections into the equation, in this case, I increased the amount of prospects by 78-fold. And, if that might be a little high, so if I want, I can hone in on geographical territories. I can do a whole bunch of different things to make that easier to manage and go after as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about approaching your second level connections on LinkedIn. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the absolute best thing on LinkedIn. So once again, I'm going to go back to, 84% of B2B decision makers start with a referral. Referrals, you can get referrals, referral to appointments. You can get 2 to 4 times more appointments. By the way, referrals close at double the rate of other sales leads that come in. So typical sales leads close at 25%. Referrals typically close at 50%. So this is hands down one of the best things. And this is kind of the start of this webcast that I'm going to do on the 27th, the digital referral. Although I'm not going into the full details in here on this one. So anyways, pay attention. If you can fall asleep for the rest of this, but I'm just going to give you a sec. Pay attention. Got to take a drink of coffee. By the way, you guys still awake? You can type in the box down below just to let me know that you're still awake. Hopefully you're enjoying this stuff and hopefully you're learning a lot from it. But I could see, I had a lot of people stay on for the whole course of this. So hopefully you're learning a lot. Anyways, same thing. Go into your advanced search, hit second level connections, hit your location, and you put this stuff in. So I hit search down here, and then what happens is it brings back results. So in this case, it brought back 114 results. Now, let's say I go through and I say, I don't know, I want to reach out to somebody. Let's look at this Gary Leach here and see what I can do. When you click on so when you click on this link right here on LinkedIn, what it's going to do is it's going to expand, if you're connected to anyone, up to 3 people. And it's going to say like, hey, these are people that you can leverage to get connected to Gary, by the way. So I can take a look and say, well, I know Jason, I know Randy, and I know Cam. I could use each one of them, I guess. But I can look at it and say, well, my relationships may not be that strong with those guys, but I see that I've got some other ones. So when I click here, it expands it out and pulls up a whole list of different people that I could potentially leverage to get in to meet Gary Leach here as well. And then what I would do is you could send a letter out to your connection to connect them. And the subject line could be something like this. Can you help me out? It's like, hello, hope all is well. Hoping you can help me out. I'm taking a new solution product, blah, 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 to market. And I was hoping you can make an introduction to this person from this company. My solution helps companies like whatever person's company by doing this, and insert a benefit as well. Do you know this person well enough to introduce me? If so, here's an intro email, or here's an intro you can use, or an email that you can use. Subject line, blah, blah, blah. And then just go through and make it really short and sweet and to the point. And the amount of introductions I get just from doing this is astronomical, right? So once again, I'm gonna say, if you go back to the stats earlier on about cold calling successful less than 1% of the time. I am getting sometimes upwards of 50% of these being sent to people and getting engagements. I would say probably on average, though, it's about 30 to 35%. But I'll tell you, if I'm picking up the phone and smiling and dialing and getting less than 1% of meetings, and I can get 30% here, guess what's going to happen to your sales? Those are going to shoot through the roof. And if you manage a sales team, you need your sales team to get on this stuff ASAP and start leveraging their network to get in the door. One of the things I talk about too on this is, and I can tell you right now, so few people do this. And the reason being is I have had only 2 people reach out to me for an introduction in the last 12 months. Like I say, I usually can get up to 50% of referrals into a meeting or a conversation. My average probably is about 30 to 35%. But anyways, so I have over 3,000 connections. I give this presentation once a month. I have told so many people, and I've had friends show up to this. I even send friends emails on this stuff saying, if you need introductions, just ask me. I'm more than happy to send you. 2 people in the last 12 months. And I'll tell you what, one of them did, because I told him, I said, like, no one's asked me for this. He goes, great, introduce me to this person. I did. He ended up getting a sale out of it. It's so your sales team, if you have a sales team or if you're a salesperson, this will absolutely explode the amount of opportunities and the amount of sales that you're going to get just by doing this one thing. I was going to talk about, if you want to leverage LinkedIn to get introductions, here's another thing that's sucky about LinkedIn. LinkedIn's changed a lot of stuff they do right now, and it's becoming really, for lack of a better word, shitty. I love LinkedIn, but some of the things are stupid. Their introductions, if you have a free account, you can get up to 5 introductions a month. So if you're on a LinkedIn profile, down the right-hand side, it's going to show you and then your connection, and then also how to get into the person you're looking at. And if you click get an introduction to this person, what happens is LinkedIn just sends off a canned email message. Well, I want to be able to, put something in there or build an email out that this person can use to send to this person. So I wouldn't recommend using the introductions on LinkedIn nowadays because they've made it pretty crappy. But the best way to do it is just, ask your connection through LinkedIn to send them an email and try to get that going that way as well. So just bear with me for a sec. I am going to grab another drink of coffee. Oh, great, guys. Sorry, I didn't refresh my my screen on my chat window. So hey, great content. Thank you from guest 1449. TJS Technical, still awake. Good to see. Guest 2949, still awake. Great. Sales Matrix, hey, great information. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. That means a lot for me. Thanks for staying awake, guys. Still have 20 people online. That's awesome. So this goes into the digital referral. I'm not going to get into a lot of this stuff right now because I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but think about this. Typical sales close at 25%. Referrals close at approximately 50%. Referrals convert at 3 to 5 times better. Here's something that's crazy. 65% of all new business is done through referrals. So if you took a look at all that stuff that we were talking about online, guys are going online looking for people, trying to get referrals. 65% of all sales, all new business comes from referrals, and only 11% of salespeople ask for referrals. This is absolutely crazy. So guys, same thing. I told you before, if you had to remember one thing out of this whole lecture today or the webinar, here's another thing you got to remember. Start asking for referrals. Be part of that 11% that goes after 65% of the sales. And I'll show you the math at the very end of this thing. It'll blow your mind if you start doing this. And I'll show you a real world example with me. And I'll tell you what, I was freaking lazy. Yes, I will. We should have presented me for my sales team. Yeah, actually, sales matrix. What you can do, reach out to me and I'll give this presentation to your sales team. If you'd like, I can kind of hone it down a bit as well. And get more succinct on it. But anyways, we'll take it offline. Email me at chris@salestipaday.com and I'll do that for you. Back on track here. 89% of salespeople don't ask for a referral, yet referrals are responsible for 65% of all sales, and they close at 2 to 4 times the average. Your biggest referral network is through LinkedIn. This is crazy. You guys have such a tool at your fingers. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? You have such an opportunity and no one's doing this. Nobody is doing this. So anyways, take that away. That's the one thing you got to do today. And sales matrix. I'll tell you what, if I give this to your team, we'll make them rock. We'll make them make you money and make them money as well. So, and anyone else out there, same thing. You want me to give this presentation to your sales team? More than happy to. I've got a scaled down version that really is kind of nailed on. Anyone who's in an organization, you think that your company can benefit from it, just reach out to me, Chris at Sales Tip a Day, and I will be more than happy to give this presentation to you guys. So here's another thing you can do. You can start writing posts. And posts in LinkedIn, you just go into, I'll show you how to get there. But I get a lot of people that come in through my posts and see this stuff. So I have a daily sales and marketing blog, although not so daily, I guess, right now, because I've just been so busy doing a whole bunch of other things. But I try to get some stuff up at least once or twice a week here. But I take those posts and I put them on here, so I kind of get double dipping on this sort of stuff, right? So why would you want to write posts? So first of all, you want to be seen as a thought leader. So write posts that are relevant, that share information, a whole bunch of different things like that. And the interesting thing, that is one of the pillars of LinkedIn's social selling index. So you start to become seen as a thought leader. Also remember that by sharing relevant information with individuals, you stand a 5 times greater chance than a cold outreach with this person. So for example, if you write a great little post, you can go hit some of the people you're connected to on LinkedIn that might be prospects and say, hey, just put this post up on LinkedIn. Think you might find this of benefit. It shows you this and how it can do this. And here's the link for it, right? So that's a great way of doing it. Your posts, by the way, get seen by your connections. If you post once a month, 20% of your connections are going to see your post. If you post 20 times a month, so once a business day, 60% of your connections get to see your posts. So you not only that, you get your posts seen in front of a wider audience, and then your connections will start sharing this stuff as well. Hey, guest 8916, I will send out or actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys later on. I don't want you all drop off on this, but if you want to watch a replay of this, just go back to the website. And you'll be able to see the replay of this webcast. So the website you're on right now, the URL. Anyways, this will get you in front of a wider audience, and your connections will start seeing this. It's also going to allow you to connect with people who are like-minded as well. So The other reason too is that if you look at a mobile display, the second thing that shows up in mine, at least, is my posts. So when people hit me up on a mobile display, they start seeing some of my thought leadership stuff that I've written here as well. So there's different ways to write a post. If you're on your main page, you can hit publish a post here. If you've published posts, you can click on here and there's a way to publish a post. If you go to interest, drop down to pulse, it'll say publish a post there. And the same thing, if you're in your profile, you can look up here and there's a write a new post in there. So you can write posts. Really, there's only about 5 things you need to do on a post. Put a picture in, write your headline, put the content in here. You have to add 3 tags and then you hit publish. And then this stuff across here, pretty straightforward. All it is just your H1, H2 tags, quotes, bolds, italics, underlines, so on and so forth, all that sort of stuff. This I'll get into in a sec here because this will help you generate sales leads as well. If you just bear with me for a second here. We'll go into it right now. So one of the things that I do at the end of my posts is to get people to sign up for my LinkedIn social selling webcast like you're watching today. I just put a little picture in there. And when I put a picture in at the end of the post, when I click on that picture, I hit this link and I put the URL to sign up for the webcast, and it brings them through to this sign up page, which maybe a lot of you people have actually seen today, or a lot of people that are on the webcast today have seen how they signed up for my webcast. So it's a lead gen process. Now, not only that, you know what? These people end up on my email list, so I can actually send stuff out to them on a regular basis as well. And that's a whole different area that could take at least another hour to 2 hours to go into how to do this with this and create the email marketing through LinkedIn. One of the things that you can find though is your post stats. You can, when you click on this link up here, if you put something else, say, here's how many people have looked at this or viewed this in the last little while, it goes through here and it shows you who they are. When you click on you can click on the details, and there's some details up here with people who have liked it, shared it, commented, so on and so forth. You're going to see the demographics of your readers, where they're coming from, which locations, where they found you. And then what I do is when I find people that I'm not connected to, what I do is I reach out to them and I try to connect with them. And I say, hey, thank you very much for liking my post, sharing my post, doing whatever it is. Always like to connect with like-minded individuals, and then click, because you know that they're part of that target demographic that you're going after as well. So it's a great way to connect with people that you could potentially have as sales opportunities for yourself. I'm just going to get quick tips on posts. I'm going to try to plow through this a lot quicker, guys, because I'm getting a little behind here. Tips on posts. Post often. Post great information. Not about me. It's how you help people. So think about your target audience. Have links to information. That's huge, right? If you're talking about how something can help somebody, make sure you have a link through that people can go and find that stuff. Thank the people that like, share, and comment if you can. Connect with the people that are second or third levels that have done stuff with your content, like sharing or liking it. Have a clear call to action in your blog. So mine is sign up for that webcast. And optional, if you have a blog, then post it on the blog 2 to 3 weeks later. The reason why I say 2 to 3 weeks later is because LinkedIn or Google likes, this hasn't been validated, but if you put 2 unique pieces of content up at the same time, it'll probably value it coming from LinkedIn as opposed from my website, Sales Tip a Day, because LinkedIn, it hurts my feeling, but LinkedIn carries more weight than my daily sales and marketing blog. But you can skirt around that by saying, putting it up on your blog first, and then maybe putting it up on LinkedIn a few weeks later, because Google will index it off your blog first and then later on off LinkedIn. Here's alerts. I'm going to show you how you can get sales leads sent to you guys for free. If you can just bear with me for a sec, because you can tell my throat's getting a little raspy. I just have to take a quick drink. Excellent. Okay, so alerts. Here is some really cool things that you can do to generate some sales leads. And what it is, sorry, I'm just trying to look at my chat roll, my live chat box, make sure I didn't miss any questions or anything like that. So how do you set up alert? You go into your advanced search up here. You put your information in here, all the stuff that you want in this area here. You get it to where you want it to be. You click search. When the search comes up, I got 170 results here. I can save this search. And when I save this search, I name it something. And then what happens is every week, anybody who falls into that demographic or targeted search, anyone that's changed their profile in any way, LinkedIn sends me a message and says, hey, you've got, in this case, 75 new people from vice president, sales and marketing. You got 65 from owners. You got 78 from vice plus president plus sales, all this stuff, right? So it'll send you this stuff. Now, why do you do this? Well, LinkedIn will give you anyone who changes a position. And it's basically, I call it free sales leads. And so what happens is within the first 3 months, anyone who is new at a position is 10 times more likely to make a product or service change. So think about that for a sec. Any person who is in a new position who has budget is in a 3-month period after they start a new job is more likely to make a product or service change, 10 times more likely. Now, Craig Elias, who wrote a book, Shift Selling, talks about this. He's the one that gave me that information. I like to give credit where credit's due. I also say Get Shift Selling. It's a great book. But it's a great way for people to find out people that have changed their positions. Now, by the way, they also deliver it to your inbox. I'm going to see if I've got another slide in here that will show this. I guess it doesn't actually. One of the things you have to do, though, is once again, you're going to have 75 people might be have new vice president sales and marketing, but someone may have just simply changed a word in their profile or a word in their summary. You have to go through these results and look and see, has anyone changed the position? So what you do is go to their, you'll end up with a listing of all the people that fall within here in the LinkedIn results. Just go to their profiles, scroll down, take a look at their current role, and see if it's 3 months or less. If it's 3 months or less, start your plan of going after those guys as soon as humanly possible, because that's when you're going to get the greatest opportunity to get your product in the door. So once again, I'm just going to say, first 3 months, person in a new role is 10 times more likely to make a product or change. I tell people, focus on people that have that are decision makers, your vice presidents, your CXOs, anybody like that. Connect with them, start providing value, start sending them information. You're going to increase your likelihood of being able to get a sale in the door with these guys as well. So, and once again, thanks to Craig Elias for that one. Hold on, guys, got to take a drink of water. Oh, off coffee, into water now. Before I go, a few more sections. One of my main goals in LinkedIn is to get, with my LinkedIn connections, is to get them onto a platform I control. Now, why? First of all, follow up on LinkedIn is brutal. You can set reminders, but it's just such an archaic system. The other thing too is you've heard me mention at least 3 crappy things about LinkedIn that they've changed recently in this webcast, and they've changed it literally within the last 3 to 6 months. And LinkedIn can change its platform at any single time. And one of the more important things right now is that you have the ability to download your connections emails in LinkedIn in a group, in one fair swoop. Then you can take those and put them into an Outlook or a CRM or a whatever platform. The reason why I say this is I would do that on a monthly basis. And if you really want to know how to do it, just reach out to me and I'll send you a video on that. LinkedIn will change its platform. And I think they're, the way they're going, they're forcing people to use the messaging platform that they've built. And they're going to take away that ability to see people's emails, and they're going to force you to reach out on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. Once again, coming off a flu. I got a runny nose and a sore throat. So, there's 2 platforms that I like to use. I use Contactually. It's a CRM program. And one of the things that's nice is once you connect with people on LinkedIn, it's tough to keep in contact with them. That's why one of the things I don't like about it, Contactually makes it super simple to create a follow-up mechanism with these people. So one of the things I do is every month I take all my connections out of LinkedIn. I download them and I upload them into Contactually. So the reason why I do that is because people change jobs. Roughly 15% of people change jobs in any given time. And what it is email addresses change all the time. So this gives me an ability to follow up with them. And so Contactually, I can have some canned emails. I have a whole bunch of different things that I can do. I can also send them emails through my own email address. I can see who's opened it, who's clicked on certain links. If they haven't opened it, I can also click a thing that says reply, that says in X days, and in this case, it's 7 days, send me an email if they haven't responded to it. I can also schedule things out as well into the future. And it's just a great little program for keeping in touch. Now, the other thing too is what Contactually does is you put people into what they call buckets. So you can put your LinkedIn connections into like A, B, C, D buckets, whatever kind of things you want to do, and have different follow-up periods with them. Every day when you go into Contactually on their dashboard, it just simply says, here's all the people you got to follow up with today. And you can either skip them, or you can send them a canned email, or you can send something like, hey, thinking of you, blah, blah, blah. Let's grab a coffee or something like that. The other thing that I really love about it is on a daily basis, I can send upwards of 300 emails. So for example, if I have a webcast like this one, I can reach out to a whole bunch of people on that are my LinkedIn, that are my LinkedIn connections, and send it through Contactually to 50 people at a time. So I could do this 6 times, take me less than 10 minutes, and I have 300 emails out the door getting people to sign up for my webcast. So it's a great little program there. Like I say, benefits there is, and I got a video that I did with Contactually about a month ago. Pardon me, that was all about this process. So if you want to take a look at that, let me know, chris@salestipaday.com, and I'll show you how it works. The other thing, you can automate emails and put them in programs and just put people into it for a set it and forget it marketing program, which I talked about down here. I can see who's opened emails, who's clicked on links, what they're looking at. And also can create follow-up programs for my people in LinkedIn as well. So give me 1 second here. Should have taken that slide out because that was one I did in February with those guys. But anyways, the second program I use for following up is actually a plugin that works with Gmail and also Outlook, and it's called Yesware. And this thing, once you use this, you'll never turn back. It's freaking amazing. This little plugin costs $15 a month. It allows me to do so much in my Gmail account. What I can do is I can create templates. And that way I don't have to keep typing templates in if I've got the same kind of email that's going out on a regular basis. And the other thing it'll do is I can track who's opened and clicked on things. I can set a reminder. I can add it to my CRM. So if I send something new to somebody, it'll put a record in my CRM. Hey, here's a new person. What do you want to do with them? And then any other emails that go in, that go out, will be tracked in the CRM. So you've got that followed up. I can send stuff at a later date. This is really cool, though. They have the ability, when you attach a file on LinkedIn, or sorry, on through their program Yesware, it will put it into your email and it'll put it online. And then what happens is someone will click on it and you can see what pages they're looking at and how long they're spending on it. So for example, let's say you're sending a proposal off to somebody. It's a 20-page proposal. And one of the key pages is pages 10. And you see this person spent a ton of time on page 10. Then you know they're taking a serious look at this sort of thing as well. So it's some great competitive intelligence that you can actually get. The other thing it does is it tells you, has someone opened my email? Have they not opened it? Should I track them? Should I not track them? But the biggest benefits here is you got templated emails. You get to see if people have opened up. You get to see if they click on a link, and you get to see if people are interested in a document. You get, set follow-up reminders, and you also get to track in your CRM. So these are two of the things that I use. So we're getting near to the end here, guys. The one thing I'm going to talk about right now is just a process that I use to find potential prospects and clients and how I engage with them. So let's take a look. Has there been any questions? And what's the CRM called again? It's called Contactually. So let's see, Contall contact. Hold on, Contally contactually.com. There we go. Great little program. It's about $40 a month, but I'll tell you what, the other thing that Contactually does, so Yesware is one, Contactually is the CRM. I've got a bunch that is a set it and forget it emails that I send out to people on a consistent basis. Contactually gives me back about 160 hours, or gives me about 160 hours of productivity each month just from using the platform. It's amazing the productivity gains that you'll get from it as well. So here's a process that I use to find people. So first step is create an avatar. You got to think about a person's title. You got to think about their location and industry as a minimum. Depending on what you do in LinkedIn or what kind of an account you have, you can add more to it than that. So for example, in this case, I'm going to use vice president and or sales and marketing, Calgary, and oil and gas. So there's their title, there's their location, here's the industry that they're in, right? And what you do is then you go into that advanced search and you put this information in here. And I want to go after second level connections in the oil and gas industry, or the oil industry down here. And I pull it up, I get 213 results of people that I could be reaching out to on LinkedIn. So there's 213 potential prospects for me. Now, I select prospects to approach, and there's a bunch of different prospects that I may want to approach in here. And for example, I pick one, Jay McNeil, who's at Trinidad Drilling. So once again, I showed you this earlier. When you click on this link down here, it brings up 3 people that I could connect with to potentially get an introduction into Jay. Well, let's just say I don't know any of these guys, right? Well, what I will do, though, is I'll click on the link down here, and it brings it up. And lo and behold, there's my buddy Jim Demas, who, by the way, just sent me a text message. I kid you not. Literally, when I just mentioned his name, he sent me a text message. But anyways, Jimmy, I could ask Jimmy to introduce me to Jay. So that's that step as well. Then what I do is, you know what? When I find people, I put them into a spreadsheet so I can track them. I don't put them into a CRM, not yet, but eventually I'll put them into a spreadsheet, or eventually I'll put them into a CRM if I've engaged with them. So what you want to do is you want to put, the person's name, their company, their title, kind of what connection level you've got, where what connections you have, if you've asked for a referral, did you send something, anything that you want to track in there. These are kind of some of the things that I track in here. Step 5, I use that second level connection intro. Can you help me out? Blah, blah, blah. I went through this earlier. That'll get you into the door with these people. So then what you want to do is you want to track, okay, when did I send this first message out? Pardon me, guys, got a cough again. Oh, once again, I'm so sorry that I'm coughing and interrupting your presentation or your webinar here, but I thought it was more important to do this and cancel it and stay sick in bed. What you do is you track this and you just make note of what's going on with that so that you know who you've reached out to and stuff like that. Step 7, you want to do a follow-up. So you want to see, once again, where were the connections made? Did I actually gain anything? We set up a meeting, I got to follow up with this person, waiting for a response type thing. So, you see what connections were made with people. Your connections, if nothing happened, maybe you just go back, and this is like a week later, 2 weeks later, 30 days later, whatever it is. You ask your connection, hey, I sent something to you, seeing if you could introduce me to this person. Do you mind resending, could you send this email to them or this intro email to them? And then you see if they send it, because here's the reason being is some people are going to be connectors and they're more than happy to connect you with individuals. Other people are just, they refuse to do that sort of stuff. So if they refuse, then you just got to move on and try to find someone else. So that's that step 3 in this step 7 is try another connection. All else fails, try to send them an in-mail or a connection request. First thing I would do, actually, I would have that backwards. I would send a connection request first, and then if they don't respond to your connection request, then send an in-mail to them as well. So that's kind of a quick little high level on that thing. The other thing I do is, every kind of 30 to 90 days, so I do it in increments of 30, 60, and 90. I just go back through that list and I just see, okay, who have I not connected with on the people that I wanted to reach out to? And you know what? Hey, I got to follow up and try to find another person or find another way into this one. The reason being is because you just don't want these people to fall through the cracks. Because you know what? There's going to only be a select amount of people that fall within your target demographic, and you want to try every single opportunity humanly possible to make sure that you connect with these people. Last step is, once again, I say once you've engaged with them, start putting it into your CRM. Now I start sounding like somebody's sales manager, but it's a proven fact that if you're using a CRM and tracking stuff and putting tasks in place and everything like that, that you will get way more opportunities and you don't drop the ball, let's say. So that's why that's important as well. So how much time does this take? When I built this presentation, I was doing it for a safety software company. And I only needed literally just a few meetings a week just to get this going. And so what I did was on Saturdays and Sunday, I spent kind of up to an hour on either one of those days or between those days, just identifying potential prospects that I could go after. And then in the morning, it took me like 20 minutes every morning or even less to send an email to my first level connections to make introductions to my second level connections. Now, the other thing too, don't forget you have first level connections you can reach out to as well in this thing as well. But the whole process is, probably all in during the week. What are you talking? You're talking about 2-3 hours maybe. Now, little different right now. I'm part owner of a software company that we work with bookkeepers and accountants to expedite the processing of invoices into accounting systems like QuickBooks and Sage and different ones like that. Because we're going full bore on this, I spend about an hour a day doing this. So now my time is basically Monday through Fridays. I spend an hour a day doing this stuff. But still, my response rates on this are phenomenal. I'm getting some really good response rates. For example, I would say that of the people I reach out to, and I should track this and start blogging about this, but anyways, the people I reach out to, like I say, probably about 30 to 35% of them, I'm getting some form of a connection or some form of a meeting set up with them as well. And it's keeping me busy, I'll tell you that much. So anyways, it doesn't take a lot of time, but here's how you can track that stuff and figure it out, determine the right amount of connections. So once again, track your results. So go back to creating a spreadsheet, tracking what's going on. You need to determine what your success rate is in booking meetings or getting phone conversations. And then from there, you determine how many connections I need to be reaching out to on a weekly basis. So for example, if I say I need to get 10 meetings a week, I get a 40% close rate when I reach out to people. That means 25 people, and I need, 5 per day. Sorry, I need my math's off here. But anyways, I need, I need to reach out to 25 people, or I need to reach out to 5 per day to create that 10 meetings a week as well. So let me go back through that again, guys. I confused myself because I'm on cold medicine. So I need 10 meetings a week or 2 per day, right? I know on a list that for my success rate, the close rate is about 40%. So I'll get into a meeting or a phone conversation 40% of the time. 40% of 25 means, it means I need to reach out to 5 people a day in order to get the 2 meetings, which means that I've got to reach out to 25 people just to get that sort of stuff. So you get the math. Once again, my math might be off on that one, on cold medicine, trying to keep myself alive. Does it work? Here's one thing I really want to show you. So I last year was working for a company, and we tracked everything in our CRM system, which was Salesforce. And I know you can't see it, but you're gonna have to trust me. That line with all that activity over there, that's me. And this was over I think it was like a 1-month period. And I compared myself against all the other reps in the company. And what I found was I was able to send 22 times more emails out to prospects. Now, that in its own was a whole different scenario. I created a newsletter and sent it through MailChimp to my targeted demographic. and people loved it. I got about a 50% open rate on that sort of stuff. So that's why I got to send tons of emails out to my target demographic, because the information I included in it saved them probably 8 hours a week of digging online to pull that information together. So that's why I got 22 more emails. Here's the big one though. I got 10 times more meetings than everyone else. These are all the sales reps I was stacked up against. I got 10 times more meetings than the people that I was competing against, my coworkers. Not only that, even though I got 10 times more meetings, these meetings also included oftentimes 2 to 3 people in each meeting. So that number is actually low when you consider how many meetings if you go on a person by person basis, right? And I got 30 times more WebExes. Now, here's the other thing. So I live in Western Canada. We are predominantly, the company I was working for did work in the mining industry and the oil and gas industry. The mining industry is dead. The oil and gas industry, in case you haven't heard it, oil's like next to nothing. It's dead. So I watched my whole market implode, right? And in fact, the math against it shows that my whole market in what I did dropped off 96% over in both mining and in oil and gas. Funny thing was, this company upped my quota and I was still able to achieve my quota in a year where I should have had 96% of my sales drop off. So I consider, if that hadn't happened in the world, could you imagine the amount of revenue I would have been able to bring in for this company? It would have been astronomical. So here, guys, I'm going to do a special offer, but then I'm going to go into my math and show you guys how to get up to 120% greater productivity. I have a LinkedIn course online that I am running, and it has over 40 hours of material in it. And it shows you, it walks you through so much stuff, like the stuff I'm talking today, and I'm putting up new content on a monthly basis. As I said, it's about 40 hours of content. And I'll tell you, the price that I'm giving away this at, it's $19 a month. It's normally $39 a month. It's $19 a month. The opportunity is absolutely, it's stellar. You will gain so much from this and make so much money just by doing this. I'm going to show you how to get up to 15 times more sales leads, how to get found by more to be B2B buyers, how to generate more sales leads from LinkedIn. Hold on, I'm looking off the side. Richard asked a question. Would you see value in putting my signature in my message I send through LinkedIn? Yes, why not? Just other ways for people to reach out to you. Absolutely, Richard. So back on track here. You will get access to all my future courses and books that I put up as well. And like I say, I'm making it $39 a month for if someone just comes across it. For you guys, because you invested the time today, I'm making it $19 a month. Here's the best thing. You can cancel at any time. Right now, there's currently about $800 worth of value in here. It's going to be increasing anywhere from $100 to $500 per month with the content that I'm going to be adding in there. I always look at it this way: is if I can teach you anything through this course, if you can get 10 new qualified meetings a week, 50% into a funnel with a 30% close means that you're going to get 78 more sales per year. That could have a dramatic increase on your sales career and your earning income as well. As I say, 30-day money back guarantee, monthly subscribers. You can quit anytime. So you can go through and plow through all 40 hours if you want, and take all the data that you want from it. But after that, you can quit anytime. And I'm not going to be too concerned. I give a lot of stuff away for free. I'm just trying to monetize a bit of the content that I have here as well. I'll tell you what, here's the way I also justify it: is the average sales rep in Canada, and that's where I am, makes $30 per hour. My monthly plan is on special for $19 a month. So it means, within the first 40 minutes of working each month, you've got my course paid for as well. So there you go. So once again, I'm going to go into a couple of things here. My LinkedIn job search webcast is on Wednesday, April 13th, which is next Wednesday. If you know anyone that's looking for a job, I'm going to show them how to be the job search ninja. I use ninja a lot, but and find those opportunities online and how to get an opportunity. So let people know about that. I'll send out a link with the with the page to land on this one as well. My LinkedIn Q&A session. So bring your questions. This is on Wednesday, April 20th. Now I'm going to get into, guys, I'm going to talk about this digital referral. So this one I'm going to do on the April 27th. So I left the best to last here to keep you guys engaged. So I'm going to show how you can leverage referrals and LinkedIn to gain up to, this says 137 times more productivity. It actually should say revenue, not productivity. It's about 120 times more productivity, 137 times more revenue. And I'll tell you why. So first of all, 11% of salespeople, those are the ones that ask for referrals, right? They access 65% of all the sales out there. Now, when you do the math against this, that is, you're generating 15 times more sales leads than an average salesperson. And no one wants to be average or below average, obviously. But if you can get into that 11% that is consistently asking for referrals or introductions, you are going to explode your sales career. This, when you do the actual math in a percentage, it's 94% more sales leads that are coming in the door for you. Now, hold on. The suspense is killing you. I got to take a drink of water. Oh, there we go. These, whether you realize it or not, referred sales leads generate 14% more sales or revenue per sale. So referrals, are you getting it here? Referral is the big thing here. They also close at 2 times the normal rate. And believe it or not, these will close at a quarter of the time, up to a quarter of the time involved to actually do it. So you can do it faster. You can get more sales with more qualified people and that close at double the rate. This is going to help you generate upwards of 137 times more revenue. Now, guys, I'm a realist here. I know that not everyone would jump in and go full bore 8 hours a day doing this stuff and get 137 times more revenue. But I'll tell you what, if you could just even do bits and pieces of what I'm going to do in this webcast, if you could incorporate 2 or 3 different little things that I'll show in this webcast, I will guarantee you that you'll probably get and I am going to guarantee on this one, you will double your sales just by doing it. The other thing too is you need to look at the ratio compared to normal salespeople or average salesperson. So the opportunities that present themselves for every one sale that a person may get who's a salesperson, it potentially drives 120 sales for you. So that's the sales ratio. For every one meeting they get, you get potentially up to 120 more. That's the ratio that you can use against this. And like I say, does it work? Once again, guys, I'm going back to the graph that I showed you earlier on, right? I am just crushing the people that I was selling against in a market that was down over 90% year over year, and still was able to obtain or get my full numbers for the year in a year where I should have been dismal and dying on the vine. So does it work? Absolutely. Absolutely it works. So guys, the digital referral, how to use LinkedIn to generate up to 120 times more opportunities, is on Wednesday, April 27th. I'll leave this up for a second here. 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll tell you what, if you can go to any more of my webcasts this month, you should go to all of them. But if there's anyone that you should go to, this is the one that you need to be going to. Go to, on that day, salestipaday.leadpages.co/digital-referral-webcast/. If you go to that, put it in your calendar, show up. The other thing too is that if you're on any of my email lists, I'll send a reminder out and I'll send information out on this. My emails also have a way to put it into your calendar so that you so that all you got to do is click on a link and it'll add it right to your Google, Outlook, whatever kind of calendaring system you're actually using as well. Okay, so So that's it, but there's actually one more. Guys, here's one of my biggest pet peeves on LinkedIn. And I took the picture out, the name out, everything like that on this one. And the reason being is because the person who sent me this is supposedly also, once again, a social media expert. Here's the biggest problem is that people send me this stupid message all the time. They just click connect on LinkedIn. It says, hi, Chris, I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. Well, I have no reason to think about why I want to connect with you on LinkedIn. You know, I'm different. I accept everyone unless they give me a reason not to. And I'm being a lot more selective nowadays because I think people are abusing LinkedIn. Tell you what, take a little bit of effort. If you see someone's picture or profile, whatever it is, go in there and hit the connect button and figure out the way, bring the message up and say, hey, I found you on LinkedIn while I was doing this. You have a great profile. Would love to connect with a like-minded person like you. You know, and then you can put this, I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. And then just send that message through to the person. That is like night and day. And that's how you'll get way more connections coming through to your company. So once again, hey guys, we're at the end. So I went about 15 minutes longer than I thought I would, but I appreciate, I mean, gosh, most of you guys, all you guys stayed on for the whole thing. I am so appreciative of that. That is a lot of gratitude goes out to you. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff there. Once again, if you're a sales manager and you want me to give a presentation to your team, I'm more than happy to do that sort of stuff. If you're in a sales organization and feel other people could benefit from this, I can get a presentation out to you as well. Would be more than happy to. Contact me. If you want to learn about any of my video courses I have online or anything like that, reach out to me. My membership program, same thing. There is, if you have any questions, contact me, reach out at chris@salestipaday.com or call me at 403-630-1243. Hopefully guys, I've answered any questions you have. I didn't have a lot of questions today, but does anyone have any questions? I'll hang out if anyone has any questions. I'm just going to wait and look at the, go to the box down below and let me know if you have any questions. Just give me a sec. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Guest 1038, appreciate it. Guest 2947, thank you. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that as well. Just while we're waiting to see if any questions come in, as I told you, I just told you I'm part owner of a software company. Just need your email address as your link is not working. That's interesting. Hopefully my website might be down. Anyone out there know anybody that's can do some good troubleshooting on a website? My WordPress website's been causing me grief. But Sales Matrix, unfortunately, I don't know your first name, but if you use chris@salestipaday.com, you should be able to get through to me on that one. And you can go from there. Anyways, sorry, back to my story. So every day I get up and I put in the calendar a specific time. So basically from 9 till 10 every morning, I am prospecting and I'm trying to find people that are accountants and bookkeepers. And I set a goal for myself every day. Hey, Troy, good. Nice to finally meet you virtually online here. I set a goal for myself every day to reach out to at least 10 people, find 10 people and reach out to 10 people every day on LinkedIn. Sometimes it works its way up to 20 to 25, depending if I have time. But I do that within a 1 hour period usually. And there's a couple other tips and tricks on this webcast that I'll do towards the end of the month that'll show you how to reach out to people for free on LinkedIn that I use religiously. That helps me get access to different individuals. In fact, some of the people that showed up today probably were accessed from this process that I use. and I'll go into it on the 27th. I'm really pushing hard on the 27th. I should be pushing on my monetizing my membership site, but I think the event on the 27th is well worth it. I have, like I say, I have corporations that are paying me for this now, and also I'm doing a seminar at the end of the month to probably about 30 or 40 people that each paid $100 a head to learn this process. So it's extremely valuable, and I don't know if I'm going to put it back up online or do it again. If I do it, maybe a few months from now as well, but I won't put a replay up of it back up online for sure. Looks like no one's got any questions. So Durga, hey, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it, and hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. If no one's got any questions, you know what? Then I am going to stop sharing my screen, and we got me back on. I'm looking off to the side here to see if I can see any questions coming in. Once again, greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for showing up today. That means a lot to me. Thanks for putting up with, hey, Tom, thanks a ton. Thanks for putting up with my coughs and stopping to drink water continuously. As I say, I'm coming off a flu or probably a cold. I don't know which one, but I think the cough medicine's kicked in too because I'm actually rambling now. So anyways, I think, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to be asking any questions. If you have any questions, shoot them off to me, chris@salestipaday.com, and we'll go from there. Thanks a ton for showing up, everyone. Love it. Thank you. Value your time, and hopefully you gained enough information out of this to see value in it as well. So thanks a ton. Have a good day. Happy selling.